Today I'm going to show you how I took down a super sketchy oak tree at my uncle's house in South Carolina. The tree will fall perpendicular to the bar, right? So if you have the bar like this and you're making the cut in the tree's gonna fall perpendicular to it. And so essentially just kind of as you line up the saw, you kind of look out and see where it's gonna go, look at the saw bar, look at where it's gonna go, back and forth as you make that cut. That's a really good gauge of where the tree is gonna fall if the hinges you make are correct. So that's what I was doing here, and I spent a lot of time looking where it's gonna go and back at the saw because I didn't want to screw it up. You cut down, so you're cutting the face of the tree, only covering about 70% of the width of the tree. So I'm just gonna cut down until I get to that. So you can see here now, I'm just gonna cut flat underneath it to pop that wedge out. Boom. All right, so the wedge popped off and I'm looking and I wasn't real excited. That tree is far more hollow than I would want. First thing I noticed was on the right side of that notch that I cut out, there was only this much what looked like good wood. To drop a tree, it needs to hinge off something, right? It needs to have wood for it to steer it where it's going to go. So you actually have to have some. And the fact that there's only this much concerned me a little bit. Typically a tree will stand, will be strong if you have 15% of the trunk remaining, and out of the whole diameter, and definitely pushing the limits on this. You can manipulate a tree to go wherever you want. So if it is a live tree and there's plenty of live wood, through cutting and wedges, you can make it do whatever. But if there's not enough stable wood there, then you can't control it. If you have a weak spot in your hinge, that could break early, and the tree will twist and fall, and that's happened to me before. So after this initial notch is cut out, I went behind that about 4 inches and did a plunge cut through the width of the tree. So once I have that plunge cut through the width of the tree then has 3 attachment points, one in the back and one on each side. As long as there's 3 attachment points, the tree's not gonna go anywhere. What I'm trying to size up is how big I should make the hinges, because I'm aware that there's not much good wood there, at least on that right side. Now I'm actually back cutting towards the back of the tree. For the wedges, I'm just pounding them in lightly. You don't have to be real hard. Again, all we're doing is making sure, so once I do finally cut the back cut, the tree has one way to go, and that's towards the notch that I cut out. The tree will and has to fall towards the notch if you've done these cuts right. So here we go, I'm ready to go. The notch is cut, the wedges in there, I'm signaling it's time to drop it. I am a little nervous because again, I'm not sure how strong that hinge on the right is. Boom, there it goes, and drops. Ooh, that went quick. Again, there's 3 attachment points, one on each side and one in the back. Once you get through that last one, typically the tree will like creak, and fall. Because what's going on is the hinges have to bend and then break. You're tearing the wood at those hinge spots. And the second that back cut was made, they just popped. And then they fell right down. But it fell exactly where we wanted it to. It missed the house, missed the plants, missed the shed. When it hit the top, because again, it was really rotten, exploded. There's wood everywhere. There's my family. My dad, my uncle, my grandpa.
Perfectly landed.
Good job, John. Dad got it. Right where you wanted it.
All right. Post-game interview.
The tree was a little sketchy. It
Yeah.
was really hollow.
What were some of your thoughts there at the end, right before you cut?
I was like, oh, it cracked already? I should get out of the way.
Yeah.
But it turned out good. It landed right.
Perfect. Nailed it.